Look, Likkutei Torah, Drushim for Yom Kippur, page 136, bottom of the first column. Okay, now the Rebbe is explaining, there's a fire from below, there's a fire from above. The person has to awaken the Nefesh HaBamis' fire, the Nefesh HaLekis' fire to control the Nefesh HaBamis. And it's like two people that are maybe close to each other, but they're back to back, and therefore the whole union of tshuva is to turn around and go back to the pnimius of the Jew. So he says, this is what it says in the pasuk. Zeshmi le'olam, Hashem says by Amalek, this is my name forever, and the pasuk continues, zichri l'dar, this is my remembrance for all generations. So it says in Kabbalah, Shmi im Yudkei is Shasa. It says two things, Shmi and Zichri. Shmi is equals 350. Together with Yudkei, Yud and A is 15, is 365. There corresponds with the negative commandments of the Torah. Kimitz, it says, say, Nimsha B'chinas Vavhei. Because positive mitzvahs come from the name of Vavhei, which is Alma Dias Galia. Or mitzvahs Leisase Mibchinas Yudkei, which is the level of Alma Dias Gasya. So now the Alter Rebbe is saying like this. Negative mitzvahs come from the hidden worlds. Positive mitzvahs come from the revealed worlds. So remember, the Alter Rebbe is answering the question, if positive mitzvahs are stronger than negative mitzvahs, why is the tshuva for negative mitzvahs harder than the tshuva for positive mitzvahs? So now the Alter Rebbe explains, because in reality, negative mitzvahs come from a higher source. They come from Yud-Kei, the hidden worlds, and then it says Veha-Nigleis, which is Vav-Kei, which is the revealed worlds.
Isn't it the same thing you're studying in Tanya?
Yeah, a lot of Likkutei Torah is the original. It's like Tanya's Chumash, Likkutei Torah is like Gemara. You know what I mean? So obviously, you have that in the Gemara. It's therefore like this. If positive mitzvahs come from Vav Hey, so when you transgress a positive mitzvah, you're blemishing the letters Vav Kei of Hashem's name. But when you transgress a negative mitzvah, then you're blemishing Yudke. Okay, because that's where this comes from. This is where this comes from. Skip the brackets. What does it mean? What does a blemish mean? It means neck of sheyesh bechisarim. It's like a hole. A pagam means a blemish. It means like a hole that you're missing something from the object. When a person transgresses a positive mitzvah, he makes a lacking and a blockage. So we learned already like this. If I don't do a positive mitzvah, okay, I'm not actively desecrating Torah because I'm just passively not doing it. But the revelation that I could have gotten if I did the mitzvah, that I'm not getting now because I didn't, that revelation is missing. So that I'm blemishing that revelation of Elokus. And that's the Serus, the Lasata B'chinas Eish Shalamata. This fire from below, which is Aydei Yizbein, and now through meditation. So therefore like this. When a person doesn't keep a positive mitzvah, they're blemishing that revelation of Elokus that's supposed to come down if you did it. So now you're blemishing, making a hole, meaning it's not going to come down. But when a person transgresses a negative commandment, he blocks and he lessens the revelation from above, that this fire from above, which is avativis, the natural instinct of love, is not able to strengthen the soul. I'll explain in a second. And to add strength of the love of Hashem, okay, meaning like this. Normally, in order for a person, he said, there's fire from above and there's a fire from below. The fire from above came first. First, the fire came down on the Mizbeach, and then the Jews had to bring their own fire. What is that spiritually speaking? In order for a Jew to inflame themselves with the fire of the neshama, we need help from above. Why? You're in a body, you're in a nefesh habamis. Those are very powerful blockages. It's very difficult. Like the pasuk says, the Gemara says, and the Sefer Rosh Latzadik u'mevakish hamisik. The Rosh, the Yetzer Hara, wants to kill the nefesh l'kis. V'malei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if Hashem wouldn't help the nefesh l'kis, it wouldn't happen. What is the help that Hashem gives us? This is the fire from above that Hashem gives us. Now, when I actively transgress a negative commandment, I'm not allowing that power from Hashem to come and help me overcome the nefesh habamis. So when I transgress a positive mitzvah, I'm not allowing that I could have done, the serusa del sata, that I could have brought down through my doing the mitzvah, that's blocking my avodah. When I transgress a negative commandment, that's not allowing Hashem to help me overcome the evil. That's what happens.
When a body of a Jew does a mitzvah, the body is a keli, right?
The body is not only the keli, the body is the vehicle doing the mitzvah.
Okay. So at that time, a Jew is connected to the essence of Hashem.
Correct.
So how come that body doesn't? How can the body take it?
How can the body
How
take
can the
it?
keli
Because
take
right now, you davened already. You put on tefillin today. Yeah.
I think so.
Well, I don't know if you davened, but I'm saying you said the words maybe. But the prayer you put on tefillin. Okay. Did you connect to the essence of Hashem? Do you feel it? Do you feel it any different than yesterday before you put it on? Now we're not talking about people like you. I mean that's a whole different world. They're not normal people. You feel it? Okay. Does that mean it didn't happen?
No,
It happened. But until Mashiach comes, we don't feel it. Okay, so what are you asking me? Why didn't the body explode?
I mean, the keli is connected to the essence of Hashem.
Right, but we don't feel it yet.
How could that be?
Because the world is dark and blocking and everything, and when Mashiach comes, that's when the nigla kved Hashem, the glory of Hashem will be revealed. But until then, so we put the money in the trust fund, but it's not accessible yet. That's all. That doesn't mean the money's not there.
How can you put water in a cup, but the cup doesn't fill it?
By the way, well, when did the last time your cup feel the water in it? No, I don't know, Jimmy. That's exactly what he's asking. The cup doesn't feel the water. Yeah, the cup doesn't feel the water.
What he's asking.
No, but the keli doesn't feel the essence of Hashem.
When you speak through a microphone, let's see if it's even a better keli. It's mamish. The microphone all of a sudden feels you. No, because it's diamond, it's inanimate. Okay? So right now, as far as feeling of the course, we're like inanimate, because it's not allowed to be revealed, but we accomplished it, it's in the bank. Okay, let's go weiter.
Does keli has anything to do with the spirituality or not?
The body becomes more refined when you do a mitzvah. When the Mishnah says, mitzvah gereris mitzvah, one mitzvah drags another mitzvah. Why is that? Why? Why should one mitzvah bring another mitzvah? The answer is very simple. When you do a mitzvah, you become more refined. If you're more refined, it's easier to do another mitzvah. If you do an avera chas v'shalom, you become coarse. You become karis. You become low. So then it's easier to do another avera.
Could you say that our neshama does feel the connection?
The neshama feels it. The neshama taka feels it. But the problem is, we is the body. We don't feel it. So he says, it says over there's no touching of evil. Only thing is, this is what separates. Why? He says like this, because he just explained before, Mitzvah says slingshot, you bend it back into Gashmis, it flies high. But you have a slingshot going downward in Averis. Therefore we can bring down that level of Ava that comes from Hashem. So therefore he says like this. When you transgress a positive mitzvah, that's not allowing the or that you could have brought down, you should have brought down, it's not coming. Okay, because it's like a hole, you're not letting it come down, it's going out. Negative mitzvah is you're blocking the revelation of Elokus from above. Therefore he says like this. If you transgress a positive mitzvah in the tshuva, you don't move until you're forgiven. Why? Say tshuva, because when you do tshuva, he said it's tshuva, the awakening of tshuva, meil lahalav al nafshe, it helps to awake. In other words, Dr. Rebbe explained what is lacking when you don't do a positive mitzvah. The awakening from below is missing. That's what happens. The awakening of Elokus that you could have done through the mitzvah, you're not doing. So now when you do tshuva, what do you do? What is tshuva? You're awakening the love. So therefore you're rectifying the lack of awakening the love that you didn't do. Now by doing tshuva, you're awakening that love. So therefore it fixes it. But what does it mean? You don't move away from there. You stay where you are. And you fix what you couldn't do. You have to skip the three lines of the brackets. But when you transgress a negative commandment, that you stopped awakening from above. So now what is your awakening from below going to do? The awakening from below is not, you just blocked the awakening from above. So how are you going to redo that awakening from above? Mainly when you stopped awakening from below by positive mitzvah. And now you're doing tshuva, you're awakening your love. That's what tshuva means. So then it fixes what you did. But if I didn't bring down the revelation from above, how does my avodah now of tshuva fix the revelation that's supposed to be coming from above? It's what's bringing that down? So he says, because even if you awaken more tshuva of yourself, it's not going to bring down the ava from above. You block the or. What is going to make that level of Elokus come down from above? He said that's why Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is a revelation from above. Yechaper aleichem. Yom Kippur is a revelation from above. So therefore Yom Kippur can fix what you didn't bring down from above. In other words, in simple English, positive mitzvah is you lack something. Tshuva, you're waking it. So you're undoing the lacking what you accomplished by not doing the mitzvah. So therefore, I'm lacking my avodah, so now I do avodah, so I fix it. But if I'm talking about revelation from above, what does my avodah help from the revelation from above when I block that out? That's why you need Yom Kippur, because Yom Kippur is a revelation from above. So this is really a very great explanation of what Alter Rebbe explains in Yigayas Tshuva. Why by Tshuva mitzvah saseh is easier? Because mitzvah saseh is vav kei, your avodah, the revealed world. So you didn't, so now you have it. But when you're talking about revealing godliness, you block godliness from above. What is your tshuva now going to help godliness from above? So therefore you need Yom Kippur, which is lifnei havai shemis'er is bechinas rotzei yisbarach. Skip the brackets. Shaz neisei oven, then he forgives sin. Then what happens? We learned many times when we were discussing Yom Kippur. What is Yom Kippur all about? It's not the pshat only I did tshuva. Yom Kippur is a day that the relationship between the Jew and Hashem is in such a level that there is no sin. Sin has no relevance whatsoever. In other words, the Gashmiistic marshal is like this: parent and child. That relationship is not dependent on behavior. You're not more child if you behave. You're not less child if you don't behave. It's a deeper relationship which is above and beyond behavior. That doesn't mean you shouldn't behave. But I'm saying it's an essential bond which is above behavior. So Yom Kippur, and that's why Rabbi says, the essence of the day forgives. The Chum you have to do tshuva, but the Allah is like the Chum. The Rabbi explains in many Sikhs of Maamar. Rabbi's opinion is still there. The essence, you just need a keli of tshuva. But Yom Kippur is what the Rabbi said, and Yom Kippur is not the pshat, there's sins and we're doing tshuva. The day of Yom Kippur means there are no sins. Because we want to make a keli of us, but in essence, there's no sins in Yom Kippur.
Takes away the negative ones?
Everything. That's what it says. Positive mitzvahs, as soon as you do tshuva, you're forgiven. Negative mitzvahs, you need tshuva and Yom Kippur. Once you have Yom Kippur, it doesn't.
That's why it's a happy thing.
That's why Yom Kippur is not a depressing day in Chassidus. Rosh Hashanah is a much, much more serious day when we're coronating the king. You know, the Einay Movadi, Yom Kippur, even by the Rabbeim were not so serious on Yom Kippur like they were in Rosh Hashanah. You know, it's brought down that the Rabbeim were not so serious.
The whole Yom Kippur is talking about
Ne'ilah in Yom Kippur itself, it's Ne'ilah is the ultimate. And the Rebbe explains it's an interesting thing. There were the daily korbanos, okay, that the Kohanim took care of, not the Kohen Gadol. Regular Kohen. The Kohen Gadol wanted to do it, he did it. But it wasn't his function, the daily korbanos. And Yom Kippur was the Aved of the Kohen Gadol. So the din was that even the daily korbanos that normally a regular Kohen did, and Yom Kippur only the Kohen Gadol was allowed to do it. So the Rebbe asked, L'chaira, that was the daily stuff. The Yom Kippur stuff I understand, you know, the special stuff, Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol should do. But why can't the regular Kohanim do the everyday stuff? You know, and Yom Kippur, you do every other day of the year. Why did it need the Kohen Gadol? So the Rebbe explained, you see from there, and that's why the point is, the Kedusha of Yom Kippur is affecting even the daily things. That means it's not Ne'ilah. The Ne'ilah day, which is the 5 powers of the Neshama, the 5 Sfilas, right? That's revealed, Yechidush and Nefesh, that affects Ma'ariv and Shachris and Musaf and Mincha. It's not only Ne'ilah that at that time it's ultimately revealed. There's a time when it's ultimately revealed, the essence of the Neshama. But the essence of the Neshama, every part of Yom Kippur is revealed. In fact, it says by the Rabbeim that Yom Kippur is primarily Sur Meirah, turning away from evil, and Yom Kippur is Asay Tov. Asay Tov is Simcha. But what happens in Yom Kippur? He says Yom Kippur is, like he says, that there are no Avedas. She'ein Oven Tefis Mokum Klal. Okay, skip a few lines. What happened after the brackets? Shamal. What happens on Yom Kippur? Shamal ben Avinisem Shal Yisrael. It cleans the sins of the Jew, that there are no sins. There's a difference between, I mean, we're humans, so we have issues. You ever notice you do something bad to somebody, you ask forgiveness, you say, oh, I've forgiven my whole heart. 20 years later, he'll bring it up again. You know, something will happen again. You know, all of a sudden, you forgave me for that. 20 years later, you bring it up again. But this is human nature, because we're not God, believe it or not. So, but Yom Kippur, though, there is no Averis. The only thing of Yom Kippur Kadati, the Gemara says, the Pasuk says, the Chet HaEgel you always will remember. But that was a unique Because that redid what the Likkutei Torah did into the world. So that was, big stuff. But normally after Yom Kippur, that's it. It's cleaned. Hashem will never bring it up 10 years later, 20 years later. You don't remember what you did. Yom Kippur, there's no sin. In other words, it's not the pshat that on Yom Kippur there's a sin and we're doing tshuva. And Yom Kippur there is no sin. But to bring down that level of godliness, we need to do a keli. What is the keli? That's it. But that's not, but that's only a keli to internalize that revelation of Hashem. That we need to realize that, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. But as far as Hashem is concerned, there's nothing there.
What about Lo Taseh?
Huh? Lo Taseh, that's what Yom Kippur primarily does. Mitzvahs say you don't need Yom Kippur. You didn't have the Yisirusa de Lasata, the awakening from below. You do tshuva, now you have the awakening from below. What brings down this gili from above that couldn't be? Tshuva is not going to do it. So that's what Yom Kippur does.
Why some people go through Yisrael and half time?
Cleansing process, refining process, making you better.
It's for even by Yom Kippur.
I'm not telling you. You still need refinement.
To bring you to Yom Kippur?
I mean, you asked me a question. If somebody is forgiven on Yom Kippur, why did they suffer after Yom Kippur?
Right.
It's an additional level of refinement. Who says it's sinning? Who says it's sins?
You don't need it.
A person always has to become more refined, more refined, more refined.
Rabbi is also in science, in Microsoft. When you're looking at the thing, you change the dialogue to the more refined, you see more.
That's why David Mount said, my sins are always opposite me, even though he did tshuva. But once you become a greater person, the smaller the speck is more noticeable. The cleaner the garment, even a smaller speck is noticeable. But this is what Yom Kippur is all about, according to Chassidus. It's a whole different approach to Yom Kippur, by the way. It's a radical, completely different approach to what Yom Kippur really is. And ultimately, it's at the time of Ne'ilah. Because Ne'ilah is when the Yechid, the Shebenefesh of every Jew is revealed.
So what happens for the negative things you're doing on Yom Kippur? God forbid you do anything.
You don't.
On Yom Kippur.
So then even Rabbi would say it doesn't forgive you.
What?
Even Rabbi would say that doesn't forgive you. But you see an interesting thing, I was just talking to somebody. Shofar at the end of Yom Kippur is a custom. It's not din, right? Yet, you see this more by the Sephardic than by the Ashkenazim. They pack into shul at the end of Yom Kippur
Just to listen to it.
more than the mitzvah shofar. So that's a biblical mitzvah. This is not even a mitzvah.
Right.
Why do people pack into shul for Ne'ilah, the shofar? The shofar, what shofar? Who cares? There's no shofar, there's no shofar. It's a minig. Sign that the Shekhinah left, whatever. The answer is, they don't even know about it. But the Yechid Shebenefesh is pumping, pump it. It brings the Jew in. Because at that time, the essence of the Nefesh is revealed. And he says, therefore we say, Slach lanu, you ask somebody, you don't get angry at me anymore and love me. So you say, after you lower yourself and you publicize what your sin is, that you're despicable, and then that mitzvah makes you a keli for this level of elokus to become internalized. So the al-chet is not because the sin has any. Al-chet is, we're telling Hashem, listen, I realize I'm a nothing. I'm a low life. I did this A, B, C, D. They're all aleph base, double aleph base. Right? Because any aleph sin, base sin, gimel sin, like a shamnu, is aleph base. Any aleph sin is a shamnu, any base. And then we tell Hashem, you know what, Taka, come to think of it, I'm not worthy of it. And Hashem says, no, you're forgiven because you and me are connected in such a way that sin doesn't matter.
Not to